Hello and welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. Joining me today is Keith Goddard, the CEO of Blaze Gaming. Keith, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, my pleasure, William.
Could you begin by telling me a bit more about the formation of Blaze Gaming and the gap you've identified for a new studio in the slot scene?
Yeah, absolutely. So Blaze Gaming really started as a fun project between Johnson, who's the owner of Digiant Technologies in India, and myself. We've worked together for many years, so we kind of know the gaming space. He built platforms and technology services for iGaming clients across Asia, so mostly running platforms. Most of those customers then asked for, they asked for games, then they asked for third-party games. So Johnson ended up with a sort of product suite and platform with his own games on it and third-party games. The own games, 50-odd games, no real branding, just built for customers. So my remit and the discussion we had was, why don't we turn this into a game studio? You've got the designers, you've got the dev team, you've got a staff pack of nearly 300 people building software for various clients in the iGaming sector. Why don't we take that product and extend its reach globally by creating it as a separate entity backed by Digiant? So it seemed like a good idea. We took the products, we've spent the last year, branding, polishing the website, getting the games ready to go out to third parties, and building a distribution capability so that we can actually, deliver product to customers at the end side. So that's kind of how it was born and where we sit today.
So that's what maybe not the USP, but that's kind of the nature of the business, that it's powered by Digiant. So when I ask you about what the nature of the relationship is, what I mean is, how separate would you say the two entities are? Kind of in what ways can and does Blaze tap into the expertise of Digiant and kind of the history that the company's got in the industry?
Yeah, so Digiant has been around for a lot of years, but Johnson is a technologist. He built that business. He built a platform. He's got in the region of 250 to 300 software developers, depending on projects that are going on, all working on iGaming projects, platforms, etc. The whole existence of Blaze Gaming really came through that Digiant channel. So they've invested the seed funding, provided the portfolio of games to keep the business off, and they've also provided all of that tech resource, so from development and support, infrastructure, etc. So we've had a good grounding and a good kickoff, if you like, as a new company coming out. But we are backed and financed through those guys. And for my part, it's been, let's put a team together that can actually take these out to market, sell them, and create that distribution that we need.
Well, this is the first time that me and you have had the opportunity to sit down and have a chat. And looking into your bio before this, I see that you've got a number of existing business interests. You've had a multifaceted career background across, several industries like travel, financial trading. So what's enticed you to take up the CEO mantle at Blaze?
Good question. I guess, yes, I do have some interest mostly in online businesses that can scale, so transactional type businesses. Gaming, obviously, you mentioned sort of financial, where I'd worked for many years, and of course gaming. So licensing, gaming, studio businesses are all very, very interesting to me. I think it was a matter of timing. Johnson and I had worked on a number of really good projects over the years. He'd seen that there was a space in the market for his products to be took out. I felt it was a good time to see, go into that expanding, albeit competitive market. We also had a portfolio of, financial trading games, which we'll speak more about. But that was a project that we'd run together in the past that we thought actually it needs to be brought back into the market. So it was a perfect fit. We could bring in a USP of some unique games, a portfolio of existing games, go to market. So yeah, the excitement was really in that potential and taking that out to market and seeing where we could go in the current climate.
And as well as looking into yourself, I looked a bit into the company because I hadn't come across Players Gaming as a business yet. So I was kind of going on your site expecting to see maybe 3 or 4 slot games, a table game, but no, there's a serious kind of array of products. You got slots, you got draw games, table games, roulette variants, the casino and trading games that we'd like to talk about later. Why has Blaze Gaming kind of opted not to go down the route of specializing in one particular vertical?
In some ways, I guess we almost answer the question in the the answer is in the question. So yeah, there are already a lot of games there. They already existed for the clients, and additionally, Digiant have also built for their clients. They've built rummy platforms, very successful poker platforms. Um, they built the original platforms for sort of the freemium gaming stuff that you're seeing in America now with the what do they call it, the sweepstakes, etc. So we built the original Chumba Casino platform, which is now an in-house platform, which is probably the biggest player in the US. We built the likes of Poker Bazi in India, which is a really significant player in that Indian market. So we've got good experience of product. We had product. Our view is very much that the customers we supply to, the operators, the aggregators, they want a diverse portfolio of content. Most of these operators will have a sports book and they'll have casino and they'll have, table games, etc. Our job is to provide that entertainment product for them, or part of, a package with everybody else. And having a more diverse portfolio gives us more opportunity for placement on those sites. So, and to move with the trends, crash games have been a big trend. Everybody wants a crash game. So some games will work in some markets, some not in others. So yeah, I think having already got that portfolio of product, it just become natural to do it that way. But I think it works best for the operators that we talk to and the aggregators, that you've got a diverse portfolio. And yeah, there is sort of close to 50 games on the site. And we've got a lot of games in reserve that we're still cleaning up and looking to bring to market, as well as new developments, etc. So exciting times in that respect.
In terms of those games, looking through them, kind of the typical themes you'd expect to see, Egypt, fishing, Asian pirates, jungle, they're all present in the slots portfolio. So kind of on a gameplay level, is Blaze Gaming differentiating itself through a game design element that's other than theme? Is it like kind of art style? Is it math? Is it sound? Is it mechanics? Or would you say that as a new studio, would you say you need those themes to start with because they somewhat guarantee a certain level of success, and only as the business matures can you then kind of take leaps of faith into trying something totally new thematically?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, when you look back at where we came from and the conversation we had earlier about the 50 games, etc., most of those games were built in-house and they were on demand from the operators that we had. So, the operators say, I need a fish game or a aqua game, I need this game. So it's a combination of both what the operators asked for, which just so happened to be what they'd seen probably everywhere else. So there is a set of classics, if you like, within that game industry, isn't there, as you reeled them off. I think what we strive to do is look at what we've got out there and say, well, we need to continually refine, improve, and distribute. So we do have new math models that we're looking to roll out, cascading casino slot games, etc. But we also have, like I say, the casino trading games, other games. So every time we do a new release, we want it to be better than the previous, better graphics, better animation, better sound, etc. So edging our way to, always being more and more of a premium product, if you like. And of course, these things don't happen overnight. They evolve, don't they? And that's our mantra. We just want to evolve what we've got to a higher standard, more languages, more output, better animation, better sound. and also adaptability to the trends, what's going on in the market. If there's a particular theme or games that are popular in certain destinations, then we need to make sure we've got good best in breed product in those particular types of games. So we've got some good people on our commercial side that have recently joined us who give us a lot of experience from their own backgrounds in sort of distributing content globally, what works, what doesn't work. So we're continually kind of reviewing that and saying, well, we're in this market, what do we need there? Where do we need there? And then asking our customers, is there anything you're looking for? We get asked a lot, for example, for personalization of content. Can we build particular slots? But we look through the portfolio. We're happy to do that. So we negotiate a number of titles that we'll build exclusively for particular channels, if you like. And I think that's one of the evolutions you're seeing in the gaming side for the games. Everybody wants something a little bit exclusive and a little bit different. And so being able to adapt and to do that, and to do it cost effectively and in good time is quite a challenge. And I think that's the way you're seeing some of the smart studios go. And that's certainly, the type of processes to achieve that are things we're looking to put in place for sure. And make sure we can deliver, repeatedly deliver that kind of service to our customers.
And we've touched a couple of times on the casino trading games, so we probably better address the elephant in the room here. So what are they? How did the genre come about? How do they work? Just tell me everything about it.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So I guess if I look back over the years, I worked, as you mentioned, in my career in financial markets many years ago. And a fun little story, I guess, a few of the traders, get their annual bonus every year and can't work out where to spend it. Asked me if I was the known tech guy in the company at the time. Says, could you build a trading game? We want to have a little tournament betting on currencies and that. So we set about taking their money, building a little trading game with some tech guys, launching it in the city. It got amazing traction. Lots of people played it. Good press release. It wasn't live with a payment. We were running it as a daily tournament. But what struck me was the interest when we got that coverage wasn't really from the trading community. They played it, but the real interest was from the gaming industry, where gaming companies were calling us up, asking for a product like that, because what they saw that I didn't really think about at the time was they saw that the type of player was a sort of AAA rated, as they called it, high net worth individual that they couldn't attract to their websites, who had money to spend, and they saw as a new target audience for, creating revenue on their own websites. And that was kind of the bit that ticked for me, was there is a harmony between trading people, their mindset, and gambling products, and so we built that tournament. We built a version of the games about 4 years ago, but with live trading prices. Unfortunately, a little before we launched, the government changed the rules on betting on live financial products. And so that project didn't quite materialize. So we had a lot of products, which we then kind of took back to the studio and said, what can we do with this? We've now revamped it, and we've created it as a virtual fantasy game that links the sort of interest that you see in cryptocurrencies and created a virtual trading environment, but with the polish of a casino game, high graphics, animation, fun, entertainment, all those things kind of built in, speed as well. So it's a kind of bit of an adrenaline fevered game, if you like, that will go from 10, 15-second games, quick fire, but give the feel of that city, that trading buzz, along with that excitement of playing in the casino. And that's what seems to be capturing people's imagination. in the way we've put that together. And certainly what we're seeing is, massive interest in Blaze as a potential to integrate and partner with, and at the forefront of that, asking for those trading games to be on their site. So yeah, it's interesting, and we're looking forward to getting the first reskinned versions out and ready to go in the next probably 8 to 10 weeks in real terms.
Is there anything else like this in the industry?
There's always been bits close to it, but I think people have not really grasped the entertainment side. So you'll see a trading piece. Yeah, it's entertainment, but what we've tried to do is to create it really into a casino game. So I think it is unique in that respect. And there's certain games within that product portfolio that are just done different to anybody else. Um, the nearest you'll see is the equivalent of kind of like a high-low binary options trading system, but for gaming, but it looks like a high-low binary options trading system.
Yeah.
We're trying to create games that look like casino games that have that feel, that use chips, that use roulette tables, for example, but use virtual fantasy prices that simulate those markets. So it is fun, it is entertainment. And yeah, I think across our portfolio, it is a little bit different to what's out there. I don't think anybody's quite doing it the way we're doing it, that's for sure. But,
and what's Blaze Gaming's roadmap going forward? You mentioned before about how how Digiant has 150 to 200 developers on the team. How big is Blaze Gaming's dev team, and what capacity is there to scale up as demand grows from your operator partners?
Yeah, so scaling up, I think everybody has these challenges of scale. You see studios or game development companies with multiple studios, etc. One thing that's worked in our favour being partnered with Johnson's team at Digiant is they can scale much more quickly than we could ever do it, because they have the experience, they have strong development teams, they can shuffle resources internally, and they can access and bring resources in more quickly than we can. So, for example, we had a integrations team. We've signed probably 25 integrations this year, which is going on. A lot of those are reverse integrations, which, if you don't know, means we do all the work and not the other side. So we've suddenly found, wow, the demand for integrations is massive, but we've been able to rapidly increase the teams that work on those and overcome those hurdles, write processes that mean we can do those things much faster after 2 or 3 attempts, particularly on the reversing side. So whilst it took a couple of months, in reality, that's pretty quick in terms of recognizing an issue and scaling up to meet that demand. We do have, a number of games in our portfolio that we're working on. We've got, like I say, 3 new math models on our slots that we've created. So we're now building the games out for those. They take a little bit of time. We've got a number of clones of some of our existing games with some new themes and stuff around some of our traditional models that work quite successfully. So we're looking to, over the next 12 months to maybe 18 months, to double the size of the inventory that we own at Blaze. But equally, we're also got a sort of second strand, if you like, of we have to have high quality, super innovative games. And, if we can create in the next 12 months, maybe up to 8 to 10 high quality, innovative super games, if you like, really thought out, really exciting, lots of attention to detail, they will be the front runners, I think. If you look at all the big studios, they have a number of good quality big titles that get placed, and they get sort of replaced with the next one, and their inventory drops back, and their inventory will be out there, but it's getting a good front shop window built and expanded. And we've certainly got some great slot games in there at the moment, but we do feel we can take them up 2 or 3 more levels and continually try and compete with the bigger players that are doing it so well out there.
And how are you going to look to compete kind of on a marketing and branding point of view?
That's it's a good question. You know, the budgets are very, very different, but it's
Yeah.
a B2B business. You know, we know where the targets are. You know, we know where globally, you know, the operational bases are. The distribution networks are very well established. So we've focused an awful lot on aggregation through platforms, aggregators, obviously, etc. And really, the key with that is one, getting those distribution platforms in place, and then having the right account management and the right commercial frameworks, the bonuses, the systems that can support those games in place, so that at the end of the day, the operator or the aggregator has value in taking our games. You know, that's the key that they're all looking for. Why should I take your games over the others? What we should be doing is looking at the right commercial framework with our partners, which is what we do. And what we ask is, you know, we'll be competitive, really competitive if we have to, but we want to mix that with good bonus, good promotions, good placement offers, and then good account management. So identifying the operators on those networks, or indeed doing direct deals. We've done some quite significant direct deals, which we'll be announcing in the coming months. And actually, if you look at our distribution from when we started at sort of point zero last year in June, we were looking at the typical page website visits to our target audience. With the contracts that we've signed, the operators on those platforms that have agreed to take our games, we have reached in excess of 400 million page visits a month. And we think that's quite exciting, and we can see that doubling this year with the contracts we've signed. So we've achieved getting to a point where we've got reach. Now what we've got to do is account manage that and make sure the product placements work, which is an industry thing, I think. And commercially that we follow that up with rotating good product. That'll be the challenge.
One thing we haven't touched on in this kind of get to know you type discussion is kind of markets. So we've done marketing, we've done product, we've done about you. Where is Blaze currently live and licensed? We haven't yet touched on that. What markets have you also pinpointed as avenues for commercial success going forward?
Yeah, so we're not licensed at the moment in jurisdictions. We've been very much sort of Curacao.com pre-regulated markets. The Southeast Asian markets where Digiant have been building over the years has been non-regulated. However, we do recognise that the regulated markets is part of the way forward, and that global distribution requires that. So in terms of the contracts that we're signing, we've got really good coverage coming from sort of LATAM regions, etc., through Curacao operators.coms, etc. We are about to submit a UK GC license. We have got partnership agreements in place for really strong distribution once that license is in place, and that will be the catalyst to then extend that reach into other European licensed jurisdictions. So first one will be UK, and then we'll try and step that out through MGA and other licenses on customer demand. But we're seeing demand in Italy and in Greece, for example, from players. So we do recognise we've got to get to those points. So our starting point was we'll do our UK license, and then we'll build our European licenses out from there, and everything else will be on the back of that. We'll look at what other jurisdictions, etc., we could expand out to. But I think longer term we have to have that regulation in place, that compliance across our games, etc., in order to evolve to be a player in the industry. So we're aware of it and we're working on it. And considering where we started last year, I think we've made significant inroads to that. And we'll, hopefully by Q4 of this year, we'll have certainly a UK GC license in place, and that will be the base for then moving that forward. So yes, exciting times in that respect.
And finally, where can our listeners and potential readers, if you're reading this in the magazine, find you over the coming months? What industry events will Blaze Gaming be attending and exhibiting at potentially?
Well, we've secured a spot at SBC in Lisbon. So we've just gone through the design process for the stand. So we're very excited about that. We've got a great position right in amongst the game studios and the players. So yeah, we'll be there. We'll be putting some posts out about that in the coming months. We'll definitely be present at Sigma again in Malta, and we'll definitely be at ICE. So the big three, as I see it at the moment, although it does appear to me that there are just so many that you know we're certainly present in person at a lot of these. We haven't had stands, so we're kind of working on a strategy that as revenues grow, we will reinvest that into that marketing and that coverage. And it's a global business. We need to be at those places. We should be at Manila next week. We should be at the IGB affiliate shows that we've discussed. So yeah, I think our marketing and presence will be through the big trade shows. I think that's the way forward for us, and we're certainly having a strong presence starting at SBC in Lisbon. So we're looking forward to that tremendously.
Well, I look forward to meeting you in person at one of those events. And thank you very much for coming on the podcast, having a chat. And yeah, I look forward to seeing how Blaze Gaming develops going forward, particularly with those casino trading games. So thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, William.
I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to watch more, why not subscribe to our channel somewhere here.